So we're back at it with one of these little bad boys right here, and yeah, this one's a doozy. So I had like initial sketch that took me about 20 minutes. I think the whole entire thing took me about 4 or 5 hours altogether. So yeah, obviously this is sped up a lot. So here I'm just trying to get the feel right of the bull or whatever. So apparently, so I'm not really too like honestly, I did this like 4 or 5 years ago before posting this. I've been holding on to it for a while. I don't know why I haven't posted it. Um, Honestly, I just been slacking on a lot of things, honestly. So yeah, but here I'm just writing some, just drawing some designs. I looked up some of their some of its origins, their culture and whatnot. So what I do like to do with these research stuff is basically I like to just really just go dive deep into like the culture for a real split second. Okay, by dive deep I mean like read up on it a little bit as much as I can within 20 to 30 minutes. So I guess it's not really a dive deep. It's just me just doing a little bit of research. I'm just gonna say a little bit of research. Um, so right here I am so basically that's where all the blue designs are and all that good jazz. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not like the best speaker at this. It's been a while, so please forgive me if I'm like not doing this right. But yeah, so here I am just trying to get down the flame work and just the overall color, because I wanted it to be a red, like if I'm not mistaken it's supposed to be like a red bull, but this bull or ox or what you call it, the X. I can't even pronounce his name. I think it's like I pronounce it Axtail, Xtail, Xteal. Uh, it's very unique mythological creature. So it's supposed to be like a fire bull, and I took that design and I kind of made it like in my mind. I felt like a lot of things are fire. They don't exude uh like its usual elemental properties. It's usually like a bull that just breathes fire or something like that. So I wanted it to be slightly different. I wanted it to be completely engulfed in flames, but I got tired of seeing like fire, just pure fire creatures or pure elemental creatures. So I wanted to have it like it emits fire constantly. So I have the little Hellboy horns, where it's like it has like a little fire coming out from the horns, like in the middle of it, floating in between. I love that little Hellboy element. It to me that always stuck with me, and I would love to have it coming out of the back. So that's why I kind of did that, and the iconic bull breathing smoke or fire or steam out of its nose. I just had to go with that. Later on, I did something with the tail, but not I can't remember exactly what. So then I got like the basic color and what I was like aiming for like overall color texture of this bull. Now I'm adding in the lights. Now I really wanted to feel like it was just like mid and all this lava and all this extra stuff. So I added just a little bit of lights, and now I'm going for the shadowing. Um, I've once again, this is when I was doing it for like years ago. So like I was experimenting. So this is like one of my successful experiments that I like ironically recorded randomly. So I kind of wanted to keep that and show people what it was about. So here I'm just masking out some of the elements, areas that I know for a fact are gonna be added that little element of shade, and I just go in there and just really go into it. So really it's like I mask off, like I put on the areas and then I mask it off, and then I'm like reapplying it with the safety net of the mask. The mask I use a lot as a safety net. So it's like if I know I don't want to mess something up, I just use the masking tool. So yeah, so I'm just going in there, adding a little bit of detail, adding the muscle. I ultimately didn't like the way the front looked like I didn't like the way the muscle structure was set up, and I changed that a little bit later on. But for now, yeah, I'm just going in and I am just spreading out those muscles. So remember, the softer, like, see how I'm adding these little hard lines. Like, I go in to soften it up to make it look like it's more of a rounded feature. So like if you leave it like that, it looks like it's a hard edge to a certain degree, but the more you blend it out, soften it, blur it, or whatever you need to do to, you know, just really move that color around to give it a softer edge. You can also get the same effect with the spray paint, the paintbrush, not the paintbrush. I can't remember. Man, my brain is the tool where you use the brush to air blow dry the thing. But yeah, so here, as you can see, I like to work with hard lines, but when you're really going for like kind of realistic, or you just want to add in those details to, or you really want to get your shadows and they're on a different layer, it's not like all composite in one thing. It's good to, like, you know, turn down the opacity on certain things just so you can see where things are working, things are not working, what like is saving it and what's not. So like sometimes the line work is saving it and that's not what you're going for, and that way you have to do like stuff like this and clean it up. But yeah, so yeah, that's just like a little part of my workflow. I mean, once again, this was like years ago, and my workflow has changed drastically depending on what I'm drawing. So I would go this route if I'm making a piece for a person. If I'm doing a speed painting, I don't even do half this. I can just go straight into it. But I'm not speed painting right now. I'm just adding this stuff. So yeah. So here I'm just cleaning up the feet, trying to get the hooves right, and just I've been I think I'm looking back at my reference a lot and making sure it matches, because if I remember correctly, I had a whole bunch of bull references and whatnot. So here I'm going to just start coloring the background. The background was black and white, as you can see, and I loved it. But I mean, if it's going to be a fire thing, I wanted it to be extremely different and really embody some of those features. So here I'm just adding in some blues, some purples. I want the environment to feel like I wanted him to stand, or it, him, her, whatever. I don't know the gender of this bull, but I wanted it to stand out. So here I'm just adding like some elements, and ultimately I felt like it just, you know, cracking a little bit of earth. It didn't sit right. So I kind of hid some of those details in the back with because I already knew that I wanted like the lava to be like, you know, shooting out of it. So yeah, and here I'm just cleaning up the little line work. I felt like the lines in certain areas were a little bit too thick, so I just, you know, so this is where I'm really just hammering in those details and really just giving it my own flair. Once again, I don't do this anymore as much, but it's really good just to, you know, really emphasize like hard edges and whatnot. I don't go at it like this anymore, particularly because that's, I mean, like, it depends on how bored I am too with the piece. Like if I'm getting really bored, I start adding like all these little details to keep my interest. If I get too into it, say for example, I've just been like just going ham. Like I just want to, like, I already have the vision in my head and I just need to just keep going. Like I start doing stuff like this. So this was one of those moments where I got a little bit bored, so I started adding, like, you know, shaping things up. So here I'm adding like a little lava tent or rock lava vent area, like a hump. I saw, like, I think if I remember correctly, the reference I was looking at, like, because once again, it wasn't like the reference didn't have the bull in this pose. I just took a whole bunch of pictures of bulls and just kind of mix and match them all in my head. So I'm just like looking at this stuff. So, and then I looked at how natural horns grow, and I started to see all this stuff, but then I wanted it to like still have that rock theme, because like I don't know, like sometimes I want it to look like it can be like a realistic creature. I mean, like not like a realistic creature, but like if it was in our universe, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. So that's why I'm adding all those little wrinkles and stuff like that to the horns right there. And here I am just sketching out like where I want the face to go, like how I want it to go, to see if I could get it to mix match. But then I come up and do that instead. So you gotta use what's your tools to your best benefit. Yeah, I wanted to like look a little bit more like, I won't say bullish. Like it looks like a bull already, but I wanted that real hard, because I was looking at these pictures and I believe like I saw a couple of them, like the strong looking bulls. They had like that really round jaw, and I wanted that. So here I am really just going to town. I wanted like these vents and these circles to like really shoot out of it. Like I wanted like a reason why the flames are coming out of it, and I wanted those little vents coming out of the bowl like to be really how do I put it, just really makes it okay. Honestly, it doesn't make sense now. I'm like thinking about it and looking at it. I just felt like it looked cool. Honestly, I thought it looked cool, and I liked it. Like these little vents that just come out of it, shooting out of it like a little bad boy. You know what I'm saying that it is. And here I'm gonna really fix up the muscles on it, and I got the knee structure. I think I couldn't really get a good bull reference, because I got like all these buff bull references, like real life bulls that are really big and buff, and I don't think I got like the proper reference that I needed. So I looked at elephant's foot, or like the legs structure, and I kind of like ripped off a little bit of their kneecap, the way that it wrinkles up, and kind of mixed and matched that. But other than that, no, it's 100% like bull references that I've been using. And here I felt like yeah, the muscle structure didn't seem right, and I just want to move that leg out, because I was gonna move the whole entire picture anyway. And yeah, there we go, shaping that up. So here I'm just once again just adding muscle structure, and as you can see, I'm cutting like a huge corner when you don't really see those elements in the back. Like back then I used to still add in a whole bunch of detail, but now I kind of like, you got to cut corners. Like you got like an hour to make something, so you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, so just fixing up some of the muscle structure in the legs. I moved that, so I have to move everything else to make sure it fits. And now I wanted to, like, if I remember correctly, I kind of wanted like these gashes to come out of it. I felt like it was missing something. So I mean, once again, when you start going ham on a design, you kind of just you start making stuff up, and you just can't like not go with an idea, but then you have to try something out. Like you have to, get what I'm saying. I hope you do. So yeah, here I'm just trying out like what would fit, and I believe, yeah, I had like these little gashes right there, and at first they weren't gonna be gashes. They were just gonna be like little trails that like vein trails, but eventually I do add in that little element. So here I'm just making everything darker, just so I could take it away and add like, so basically I'm keeping a lot of that darkness, but I'm just really letting go of the light. I really wanted it to, basically this is like shadows on shadows, and here I'm just speeding up the process by masking off and just clipping elements here and there, once again to make the whole entire piece more enticing, more vivid. If you want things to really stand out, you need to have like contrast around it. So say for example, like a huge example is, look how the background right now is, the opacity is low, it's faded, but you can see the bull completely clearly. So that's a prime example of contrast. It doesn't always have to be straight up black and white. It could literally be opacity, vividness, blurring, like is it in focus, is it not in focus. So here I'm just really trying to bring out some of these elements. So I wanted these crevices or these rock elements to look like rock elements, like it's protruding out of it. So I have to add shadows to the edges, or I don't have to, but I'm adding shadows to the edges to make it really feel like it's, yeah, like it's just popping out of there. And here I'm adding some like lava trails to make it look like it's like actually emitting something, like it's like you're getting a glimpse inside of its bloodstream, and its bloodstream is like lava. Once again, like this does not work with everything. This is just my design work, and I'm just working through my workflow. So here is where I'm adding the what you call it, the gashes or the nashes or whatever you want to call it, the cuts, like not cuts, because I it's basically holes, basically like little fucking little vents that you could just, you know, put, like it could just have fire coming out of it. And yeah, I'm loving that. Like if it were to move, those nashes would move with it, and it would open up and close and whatnot. So I should have, if I remember correctly, I should have eliminated some of those lines, because that wouldn't make sense. But I honestly can't remember if I did or not. I'm pretty sure I did, thinking back at it. But yeah, it's been so long, so I mean, this is almost as fresh as, but I remember my process. I remember my thinking. I remember how I approach this particular piece. I mean, when you work on a piece for like hours, it's like you kind of remember it to a certain degree, unless you've worked on like billions of paintings or pictures, and like all of them are bangers, so you don't remember any of it. But yeah, so I think here I just took a break, and it shows heavily. Once again, these are hours turned into, like, you know, sped up into 22 minutes. So I think, like, once again, I think it was like 4 hour work piece. I think I took a break, you know, went to the bathroom, walked the dog, you know what I'm saying, probably ate some cereal, and there you go, I'm back at it. Usually I cut those parts out, but I think I forgot it. And that was a good thing too, because now I think I'm coming back, and I'm adding the gashes, and I'm removing the lines that are inappropriate for those nashes, and I'm adding some new ones too. Like, once again, as you go around a piece, like especially if it's your own and you have free range to do whatever you want, I mean, experiment. Like, as soon as you have an idea, you walk away, come back, you have an idea, go play with that idea. Like, you never know what you're gonna come up with. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If you're afraid of messing up the piece, make a duplicate of it, and, you know, work from there. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just smash it all together and just, you know, make it as a separate image. And yeah, so I basically do that sometimes. Or just like depend, like if I'm working like this in layers, like, you know, each layer has its own specific meaning or whatever, I would just throw in a different layer and just like an experiment, and see if it like fits. And if it fits, then I add it to a layer that's more appropriate. Like if I'm experimenting with colors, I'll throw it into like the color layer if I like it. If not, I just throw it away the layer. So here I'm just adding in some of those fire elements, so I can get a feel of where the fire is coming from. It's coming to the close the final stretches. So remember that when you throw in some brushes, sometimes your brushes are on point, and like you don't have to do anything afterwards. But sometimes, like, it's good to just, you know, mess with things. So I was messing around with the fire brush, and this is a Clip Art Studio. They used to call it Manga Studio. I don't know why they changed it. I prefer Manga Studio way better. Clip Studio sounds stupid to me, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in charge of naming stuff for a reason, I guess. But here, yeah, since I moved that around, I'm moving back the designs in place, putting that here and there. So yeah, so like I kind of did the fire brush, and then I kind of just moved it up with some blending and some the water brush, the smoothing tools. That way it gave it a more in motion flame look. At least that's what I thought or think. Yeah, so watch that little bad boy go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Adding more shadows. I'm gonna add a little bit more details. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. More of these are gonna come out. Currently I'm mobile a lot now, which is bad for rendering and all that good stuff like that. And and all that good jazz. But I will be putting out more of these because I have like a whole cascade. I have over like 300 hours of work that I have not put up. So if you want to see more of these, please let me know. Hit me up in the comments. If you have a question about art or something that I can answer, or I can steer you in the right direction, I will help you out. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I'm just gonna add in some more, like, basically I'm literally just finishing up, adding in some shadows, and some of it's gonna be like a good portion of the bottom half is gonna be covered up in fire. So that's the thing. Not fire, but the lava coming down from up downstairs, whatever. I was gonna. I'm trying my best not to what's the word I'm looking for? Cuss. Say some bad words. I don't know who's watching it. I don't think I've said any bad words, yet that are, catchable. Yeah, I'm gonna mess with this tail real quick. Hold on, let me get that tail in there. Yeah, and just yeah. So once again, like, don't be afraid to take some time and really think. That huge gap wasn't me taking a break. That was just me trying to remember what I was going for, what will work with this. And yeah, don't be afraid to experiment, because like the first time I used the fire brush, I just used it as is and I just left it, and the piece looked okay. But I mean, the more you use something, the more you experiment, the more you try new things, the more your artwork is going to come out like fantastic. I remember artists, he never used textures before. Like he would grab textures from online or whatever and just throw them into his art piece like randomly, and he was like, all right, yeah, that's cool. But then like he started to really experiment with it, and just like started to like really hammer in, like, okay, what can I like do here with this thing. And he started to experiment. He started to like, what's what I'm looking for, put a mask on the textures, started to mess around with it, started to warp it, all this good stuff like that. And like the jump in skill level is phenomenal. So once again, keep experimenting. Remember contrast. If you take anything from this video alone, contrast, contrast and experimentation. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, once again, if you need anything, hit me up. If you have any questions, all that good jazz. If you like what you see, once again, like and subscribe, help the channel grow, if you will. Check out some of the other content that I have on here. I have a lot of gaming stuff if you like games and me talking silly.